The story of Mahabharata in brief. The story of the Mahabharata spans over about 4 generations, but it is mainly about the rivalry between the Pandavas, children of King Pandu, and the Kauravas, children of King Dhritarashtra, for the throne of Hastinapur. The rivalry led to the war of Kurukshetra. Dhritarashtra was born blind, that means he could not become the king of Hastinapur. So, younger brother Pandu became the king instead of Dhritarashtra. Pandu had 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. They had 5 children, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula and Sahadeva. They were known as the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra had 100 children, eldest being Duryodhana. They were known as the Kauravas. Pandu was very successful as king. At one point, he decided to take rest and went into the forest. He asked his elder brother, Dhritarashtra, to rule the state in his absence. Several years later, Pandu and Madri died. So Kunti returned to the kingdom with her children. Pandu's children rejoined the palace, but they did not get along well with Dhritarashtra's children. Dhritarashtra had envisaged the throne of Hastinapur for his son Duryodhana from very beginning. But to avoid unrest in public, he had to declare Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, the crown prince. This made Duryodhana unhappy, even though Yudhishthira was elder than him and thus the obvious choice as crown prince. So, he arranged a plot to kill Pandavas. He sent them to excursion at a palace in a nearby town and set the palace on fire. People believed that Pandavas have died, but they were alive, as they were alerted by Vidura about this plan in advance. The Pandavas and Mother Kunti disguised themselves as poor Brahmins to know the conspiracy behind killing them. During this time, they heard about Swayamvara of princes of Panchal, Draupadi. Arjuna won Draupadi in Swayamvara and brought her home. Kunti thought that they have brought donations, so asked them to share it among themselves. Because of this incident, Draupadi became wife of all 5 Pandavas. After this, the Pandavas and Kunti returned to the Hastinapur palace. Now in the changed circumstances, Dhritarashtra gave them a large piece of the land to settle in and rule. The Pandavas created a prosperous kingdom out of the barren land. This kingdom was called as Indraprastha. Duryodhana started feeling jealous after seeing the prosperity of Indraprastha. So, he started thinking about getting Indraprastha from the Pandavas. So, he invited Yudhishthira to play the game of dice. Duryodhana's uncle Shakuni cheated during the dice game. As a result, Yudhishthira lost his entire wealth, kingdom, brothers, himself, and Draupadi to Duryodhana. Draupadi was humiliated by the Kauravas in Hastinapur court. At this point, Krishna protected Draupadi. Seeing this, Dhritarashtra decided to return everything that the Pandavas had lost. But Duryodhana again made Yudhishthira play the game, where he again lost. As a result, they had to go into exile as punishment. At the end of the exile, the Pandavas came back and asked for their rights, but they were denied by Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. So as a last resort, Yudhishthira gathered their allies and declared war against the Kauravas. It is known as the Battle of Kurukshetra or Dharma Yudh. The scale of Kurukshetra war had never been seen before. After 18 days, the Pandavas defeated the Kauravas, but with many casualties on their part also. After the war, Yudhishthir became the king of Hastinapur and Indraprastha. The Pandavas ruled for 36 years, after which they abdicated in favor of Abhimanyu's son, Parikshit. The Pandavas and Draupadi then proceeded on foot towards the heaven.